Hello, or should I say passiondet? And welcome to the new episode of No Translation Necessary, a podcast series which aims to showcase the talent of musicians who sing in a native language to an audience which might not necessarily be able to come across the music. Now, today we are taking a trip across the Adriatic Sea to the beautiful country of Albania. Well, figuratively, because neither me nor today's guest are actually in Albania, which is a big shame because, in all honesty, I'd rather be anywhere but in Birmingham. But hey ho. Okay, so anyway, enough of that. Now, please give a warm welcome to Mirud. Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. It's kind of chilly here in New York, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, it's cold here as well, and imagine it's probably going to start snowing soon.
I know it hasn't snowed in New York yet, but probably soon.
I hope it doesn't. My friends from New York is supposed to fly to Italy at the end of the month, so no snow, no snow.
And the snow, actually, you're right. Yeah, no snow. The snow's gonna be pretty bad in New York. Like the whole street get blocked, and like there's nothing. You cannot even move.
Yeah, every time I see that it snows in New York, it's like everything comes to a standstill. Well, just like in the UK.
I know everything is like everybody's like locked inside. Like nobody can go out. It's crazy.
You'd think people would like every year as it snows, people would prepare, but no, it's the same thing every year.
No, same thing. The same thing happens in New York every year. We have like a whole week where it snows a lot, and then we just nobody works, nobody does anything because no business is open. It's hard to go around.
So it's a ghost town then. That's when New York turns into a ghost town.
Yeah, I agree. It is a ghost town. It's so weird because like you see all these people shopping for like groceries for like a whole year, and you're like, it's just gonna be a few days.
Yeah, every time it snows in the UK, there's literally like a mass panic. It's like, oh my god, no, we have to stockpile food. There's not going to be any deliveries, no food, and it's like, guys, we go through this like nearly every year. Calm down.
I know people think it's the end of the world, but it's not. It's just a few days.
It's really funny because I'm originally from Poland, and like in Poland, it's like, all right, snow, cool. What are we gonna do about it? Get on with your life. But when I moved here and it snowed for the first time, they shut the schools down, and I was like, what do you mean there's no school? What do you mean there's no school because of snow? What is this?
Exactly. Imagine me growing up in Albania. In Albania, like we never closed, so it's like we never experienced stuff like that. Like even when it was snowing a lot, like the schools would never be like closed and stuff like that. Like only the first time that I've seen stuff like that was here in America, and like it's crazy how people take it so seriously and they think like it's the end of the world, and like everybody goes crazy like by shopping and like you go to the supermarket and like huge lines, or like it's like people having two cars with food and stuff, and you're like, why do you like what are you guys doing? And then the next second you hear it's like on TV, all the schools are shut down, everything is shut down. I'm like, it's just no.
I mean, in Poland, it's like, oh, there's knee deep snow. Well, tough. Get going. You have school at 8 a.m. Get on with it.
Exactly. Like you gotta get it together.
All right, so let's start with one of the most used interview questions ever, but in my opinion, one of the most interesting ones. How
Mhm.
did you begin your career in music? Is it something that you've always wanted to do?
I actually started singing when I was 4 years old, and I started writing my first songs when I was about five. So by the age of 13, I actually entered a music school in Kosovo.
Mm-hmm.
So it, I entered opera singing studies. So I did opera singing for about 8 years after that, and so pretty much I've been singing as far as like I can remember, like my whole life. So it started like it was just a thing that I always felt like I was born for ever since I was very little. Like even at the age of like three, like my mom tells me stuff like I used to love to sing to like a few Albanian singers songs that I'm inspired by, and like I would always dance to them, and like I always wanted to be kind of like get more attention by people, which makes sense now because uh, this is why I mean like it makes sense. Like I always felt like I was born to perform.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, it's been quite a while that I've been doing this.
Huh, opera. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's why a lot of people when they heard the song "None" that I did, that's why a lot of people were like very confused. Why do I have such an operatic voice. And actually, a lot of people didn't know that I actually was trained for opera for about 8 years. I performed operas and in different places in the world, and like I did all the stuff before I even moved to like pop music.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So you said like you used to sing songs by Albanian singers that you were inspired by. What were those? Who are those singers?
Oh, so there was one singer that I can remember being very little and like always wanted to be that like her because first of all she was from Chicago and my dream was always to like come here to America and like do things with my music here. But then her family is from Albania, but she moved back to Kosovo to do music there. And since the first song, I was like shocked and impressed by her because like she would do the dancing, the singing, and everything. Her name is Gentai Smiley,
Mm-hmm.
and then once I became such a big fan of hers, like a lot of people on the place where I grew up started calling me by her name because everywhere I'd go, I'd talk about her. Um, but yeah, like she's one of like my favorite like first inspirations that I've had.
So, what about your inspirations now?
Now, okay, so this recent years, I mean, it's just been a lot of changes on the taste of music because, like I said, I've been trained classically, so like it's very weird how I would say like my mood like each year moves from like different styles of music because like while I was studying opera singing, I listened nothing else but to opera singing. Then when I moved to America, like I listened pretty much. I got very like extremely involved into like Latin music, and I did a couple of projects there in Mexico and stuff. But recently I've been listening a lot to Rosalia. She's a singer from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she did this whole album based on a 13th century book called Flamenco. And actually, this album that she did was a project for her graduation. And it was released under Sony. But she did this flamenco music with touches of like modern music. And it's just very beautiful. And it honestly, that album has like changed my life. And it just made me kind of get a bit bigger perspective on the music because she mixes two genres that are very different, but she still was able to achieve what she was looking for, like to make it sound, to bring something new to the industry, and she did. And it just makes me feel very happy about what I'm trying to do myself with the music because like everything that I do, I always try to involve classical touches to my songs because classical music means a lot to me, and I do believe that without that, like there would be no music.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I personally have an appreciation for classical music. I used to play in the school orchestra.
Oh, that's awesome. What did you play?
Sorry,
What did you play?
the flute.
Oh, yay. I
I mean,
played the
I still
flute
play for fun, but I don't think it's something that I would have been able to do as a career.
No, it's a lot. It's a lot of work too, especially like experiencing the festival and all that and seeing how much people work on like festivals and like the orchestra and how much work they put. It's a lot. It's not easy.
Oh yeah, I remember we once had a concert at the Symphony Hall here in town, and oh my god, that was the most stressful thing ever.
It's a lot. It's I mean just by like I wasn't even playing an instrument, but like just by singing with the orchestra, that was even like a moment that I will never forget.
What are your thoughts about Albanian artists such as Dua Lipa, Rita Ora, Ermal Meta making it big in the music industry outside of Albania?
I've actually, in the beginning of my career, I actually had a chance to talk to Dua Lipa a couple times, and we would just exchange a lot of ideas about songwriting and stuff like that. Because I was trying to do music here in America in English, so I had reached out to her and sent her a couple of stuff that I've written and stuff that I'm doing, and I mean I am so like proud of her and I'm so inspired by her for what she was able to do. I feel like she just achieved another level of success that people in Albania and Kosovo have never seen. And it just made a lot of people feel very confident and very comfortable to do bigger things in music. And as far as Rita, I got a chance to meet Rita and I met her here in New York. She's actually one of the sweetest people you could ever meet. And like I told her about that I'm doing Festivali Congas and I told her about the song and all that. And I mean, she was just so humble and she was like, she pretty much just opened her arms to me and she was like, I want you to know that I'm always here for you and stuff. So like, I truly appreciate that they support artists from Albania, even though they are this big. And Ermal, the first time I've actually heard of him was in Eurovision, but I think he's so talented and I think he's such a great artist. And I just think the way that they built their careers up to where they are now, I feel like they just opened so many doors for all of us that are dreaming the same thing, because like all of us are trying to do the same thing that are trying to make music for people to listen to and like trying to make it to that degree they are.
Yeah. So, like, do you think that their success is something that will help other Albanian artists, like, give them confidence, and believe the fact that they can break through to the mainstream music market as well?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Like once I started my career a few years ago, but like that was the years when Rita Ora and Dua Lipa were like getting very big and stuff, and like it was very interesting to see how that affected me as well as an artist because it did give me a lot of confidence. It did give me a lot of energy. It did give me like a lot of positivity to continue doing what I'm doing because it gave me hope that like even like okay like we can make it like people from our place we can make it too because all the way up until I came to America like we never had anybody from my country who was like big in like in the world scene until I came here until like recent years and like Rita Ora has been around for a while but like she's not focusing as much on the music as, for example, Dua Lipa is, or
Mm.
like other Albanian artists who are big, like Bibi Rexha, she's Albanian as well. Like there's great ones, like Era Istrefi. I have no clue if you know about her, but she's also pretty big in the world scene. And yeah, I mean, it just gave a lot of confidence to a lot of artists because I've had the chance to talk to other artists as well. And obviously, everybody adores them and honors them and respects them for what they did because it just gives a different perspective and a different kind of respect for the music that we make in Albania because not a lot of people are familiar with it. So having these powerful singers, be worldwide like that, it just gives us. I do believe that it gives us more respect in front of the public as far as the type of music that we make and the quality.
It's nice that those artists, especially like Dua Lipa, that they're not like trying to hide where they're from, that they're proud of where they're from. Like there was an event, think beginning of December in Rome, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
that celebrated Albanian artists. And I know she was there, and Ermal Meta was there as well.
Oh
Um,
yeah, in Italy.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
um,
I saw that. Elida Dani was there too.
yeah, and it was just. It was great. So like obviously if you're like from Europe or Eurovision fan, you're like, yeah, Albania, so that
Yeah.
we know where that is. But do you reckon to the rest of the world, these artists are helping kind of put Albania on the map?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean it's incredible because I've never heard anyone in America, for example, talk about Albania as much as like when we talk about Dua Lipa or like singers from our country because it's I mean it's kind of crazy. Like I want to say now that Rita Ora is the reason why all of these other artists are making it because she kind of opened the doors for a lot of them.
Mm,
Like when you don't understand the when Rita Ora came out for the first time with Hot Right Now, and that was the first time all of us heard her in Albania and like in the world. It was just such a beautiful moment that I personally can never forget because just seeing an Albanian woman, especially in a country that um, doesn't treat women that well, to see a woman become that big and like be just like so talented and such a beautiful person and you can tell she's so nice and like so humble and she honors us and she honors where she comes from and she always tries to do things for us like she opened a lot of doors for everybody that came after her and I do believe that a big part of why a lot of us are able to do this now worldwide it's because of her like it's the fact that she kind of helped us gain that confidence we were missing because even when I started my career, I was aiming for Kosovo and Albania.
mm.
And then after Rita and Dua came, like I was trying to aim for bigger things and I did. I had, many songs here and they were charting and they were selling good and I had a lot of successes here. I was trying to do a lot of work with people in Latin America and like producers in Latin America and in LA with like bigger names and stuff like that. So like she kind of I want to say that she kind of pushed us to break the boundaries of what we expect for ourselves. If I'm making any
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, of course. Yeah, I've actually had the chance to meet her a few years back. God, I was a kid. That's all I'm gonna say. I was like 13. And yeah, she was like the loveliest person
No, she's extremely
ever.
sweet. And actually, I was surprised, not because I thought she was a mean person or something, but like, you know, that a lot of celebrities to that degree,
Yeah.
they actually get a lot of attention. So sometimes it could be too much.
Yeah.
So when I met her, I was like, oh, I don't like, I was a little bit nervous of how it's going to go. But like, she was so sweet and just so humble and so beautiful. And like, she was just like talking to me about the festival and the
Yeah.
song and stuff, and it was just like such a beautiful moment, and that's definitely going to be like one of the highlights of my life, and I will never forget that
Oh, I can
meeting
imagine.
her, because after I met her, I left feeling like, um, I left leaving I mean I left leaving like the entire world knew about me and my music, you know, like that's how I left feeling,
Yeah.
because of the confidence she and the energy she just like puts out around you and the energy she gives out to you.
Yeah. So you've obviously mentioned Festivali Kangas a lot. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. I'm sorry.
It's
Um,
like it's actually
so you took part in FIC this year with your song Nen.
Atë kujtojnë ato dit Kur brenda vetës më mbaje ty Si braktiset një fëmijë
So, for those who are listening and either have not heard the song or haven't had a chance to look what the song is about, could you tell them what the song is about?
Yes. So the song is actually a very personal story. It's about the relationship that I had with my family a couple years back. We had like a drift where we just didn't talk for a few years. We did not see each other, and obviously I was also living here, so it was just like a very bad time, very negative time. We hurt each other a lot and emotionally, and we so it was just like, I remember because I wrote this song about 4 years ago. So I remember when I wrote it, like I even remember the night of it. Like I was just thinking about all the feelings that all this situation was like giving to me, and how drained I was feeling, and how alone I was feeling. And pretty much the song just talks about all these questions that I have towards my family, but mostly towards my mom. Because then this year in August, I actually found out, last year, excuse me, I found out that she was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
thank you. So I decided to call, because the song in the beginning was not even called None. It
Mm.
was called Illyria. So we changed it to None because after I found out what's going on with my mom, I was like, I kind of want to make this as a dedication directly to her, because I was always very connected to her. And I was more connected to her than my dad or any other members of my family. Like with my mom, I always felt like she was my um, I know this sounds corny, but like I always thought that she was like my best friend. Like we always talked about everything, and whenever she needed to talk to somebody, she would always call me, and like we had a very close relationship. And I decided to dedicate the song to her, and um, so that's what the song is about. It's about this child who's been abandoned and left alone, and there's he tries to talk to his family, but there's no way of him getting in touch with them because they've blocked him everywhere. They just completely ignored him for years, and it's just me pretty much asking questions towards my mom, like, did you ever feel any pain? Did you ever feel any type of emotions when you like asked me not to come back home and you told me all these things you told me? And like, and then in the choruses, the part where I'm singing those high notes and stuff, I'm singing a lullaby, those high
Mm-hmm.
notes. So like for example, in the first part where I'm doing the falsetto of the song, that's it starts quiet because I'm trying to tell a story through the song. So the song starts very quiet because I'm talking about the feelings that I had when I was a child, and she would hold me in her arms and then sing lullabies to me. And like then I start singing the lullabies of the choruses, and so yeah, that's the story of the song.
I imagine she's probably very proud of you and
Yeah, I mean, I mean, yeah, it was crazy. Like she cried and like she was very happy. And actually, a lot of people don't know this, but the first night when I was performing, I was looking a lot to the right side, and like a few people were criticizing me, which is fine. But like I was looking to the right a lot because my dad was there and my mom, but then they started crying, so I could see them crying, and my dad is up on his feet, So like he's standing up and I see him crying. So I'm like continuing to look in there because I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? But like it was obviously very special to have her there and have her listen to the song because she couldn't make it to the second night after that because of treatments and stuff she's
Yeah.
doing.
So with obviously Fake, you were a huge fan favorite when the songs were first released. I mean, I remember when the songs were released, the Eurofans went literally crazy. Like, your name was just everywhere, all over my timeline. And I remember when the songs were first released, I was at work, so I was not able to listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just like coming on Twitter. I was like, I can't remember what time it was. It was late, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, "Who is this guy? Why is everybody going on about him? What's going on? What have I missed?" And then like my friend was like, "Oh yeah, they released the Fix songs," and I was like, "Oh okay, okay, oh okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's Fickmas." Um,
No,
so
that
yeah,
was very beautiful. That was very beautiful to see all that reaction that the song got. It really, you don't understand how I feel. Like even just by hearing you mention that, like it makes me feel like I already won Fic like 20 times because of the support that people gave to the song and that even the song being in a different language and like people being able to connect with them, like just getting messages by random people saying, "Oh my God, your song made me cry," and like they don't even speak Albanian. It just gave me life. It gave me life. It made me feel like music is alive. That's how it made me feel like.
I mean that's the whole beauty about music. Doesn't I mean even with like going back to like classical music and stuff, there's no words in classical music. Yet certain
Yeah,
pieces of music can make you cry, and I think like that's just the whole beauty of music.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that. Like, there's classical songs that have no words, but like just by listening to the instrumental, like it just makes you cry because you're like, I mean, it's yeah, I mean, I just couldn't be any happier. Like I came back to New York and I honestly felt so happy to be back home, but also I felt I just felt like I won. Like I felt like I won so many things with this song. Because it's not just about only the public respecting the song and loving the song that much. Obviously, that's like the best thing that could ever happen to any artist.
Yeah.
But also just to like see how other singers as well respected the song. It also made me feel very hopeful for the artists and how much we can support each other. Because during the festival, during FIC, like on rehearsals and stuff, like including the winner of FIC, Yonida Marici and like Orgesa Zaimi and Sonny Malay, Elisa Hoja, these are all the names that I grew up listening to. These are the names that I was inspired by while growing up. Like I always wanted to be them. You know what I mean? And like now I'm sharing the stage with them, and all of them, like those big names that were in Fake, they literally came to me in backstage, and the whole time we were like talking and stuff, and they were just like complimenting me on my song and the singing and the voice and all that, and that feeling. I mean, I would feel like I'm out of this world because um, I would feel like I'm dreaming because like I never thought in a million years that those singers that I actually, admire and look up to, like they would appreciate my work and like they would appreciate my song because I'm a new artist still over there and like um like I only have a couple years and I'm doing this and they've been doing this for like centuries. You know what I mean? Like it's it was just crazy to like share the stage with them and then on top of them supporting me it was just insane to see how the public reacted because like even the night of the first performance I finished the first performance and I went backstage sitting down. I had like over 500 messages from like different people all around the world that were tagging me and posting me and like Twitter and everything and like talking about the performance and stuff and I was just like, oh my God, I cannot believe this is my life. It was just a beautiful moment.
Or I can imagine. Yeah, I remember me and my friends. I was kind of watching two screens. One screen it was Fake, and then the other screen it was Sanremo Giovanni, and it's a bit like trying to trying to switch a bit between the two of them. But yeah, I mean, we're all completely blown away by your performance. That I can tell you.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot to me, and especially, I mean, when it comes from you guys, like that's the type of things that I appreciate and I value. Like I know because a lot of people after my song was disqualified, a lot of people thought that I was mad and I was sad and I was crying and that I was like, like I was in a very bad mood,
Yeah.
but I actually was not. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I heard that I'm not in the finale on live TV on interview. I was interviewing, and that's when they told me my song is not in the finale, and I'm just standing there in front of a camera and a microphone trying to answer some questions, and they tell me that I'm not in the semi-finale. So I mean, in the finale, sorry.
Yeah.
So in that moment, I obviously, in those like few seconds, my whole body shook, of course, because I did not expect for the song to be disqualified. Uh, but um, but after finishing the interview and like just seeing how much support the public gave to the song, even when it was disqualified, like a lot of people went crazy. Like a lot of people went crazy on Twitter, everywhere, like all around.
Oh, the outrage on Twitter that night.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Like I did not expect that. But like even on the Instagram of the festivals page, like people would tag me on comments, and it was like 150 comments all about my song not being disqualified, and that just like made me feel like, oh my God, I'm not alone. I feel like I literally just won tonight. I literally walked outside the door, and I said to myself, oh my God, I won tonight. And I also saw the director of the festival on my way out, and I said the same thing to him. I said, I'm leaving like a winner because the public loved the song, and I put a lot of work into the song. I spent 4 years into making the song, exactly 4 years. I would literally work on it every single week until I went to the festival, making sure that it's perfect. Because I wanted to go to the festival, and for a long time, but I long time ago, like I said to myself, if I ever go, I'm going to make sure that I present myself the best way possible that I can, because I, of course, value the festival a lot, and I think the festival opens a lot of doors for a lot of artists. And I wanted to give something to the public in Albania, something that uh, pretty much I've never seen before, because you don't see people talk about stories like that on songs over there. It's very rare. And I feel like that's why also the public, especially the Albanian public as well, connected to the song so much and supported the song so much as well, because they understand the words of the song and then how different it is from every other song there, and that this song is full of meaning, and there's something that they could relate to it as well, not not just because of like an abandoned child, but any type of pain, because growing up in like, as we know, we all have issues with our families, most of us. So like growing up, like there's issues with your family and stuff, and there's like pain that you carry with you throughout the years. So like I feel like also people connected with that as well, because in Albania, like there's the family dynamic is like very very outrageous. So I feel like a lot of people connected to the song because a lot of young people from Albania are like trying to escape from that kind of mentality they have. Um, and I feel like it just touched them a lot, and it really made me so happy to see, of course, the entire Europe go crazy for the song, but mostly people in Albania. Like it really made me feel like I brought something home.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the real victories aren't the actual victory.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like I honestly, because I mean, I of course thought about the song not being qualified as a possibility, because that's always a possibility.
Yeah.
You never know what will happen. So I obviously thought about that, but I used to like get freaked out when I thought about that. But once, like I said, once I found out that I'm not disqualified, and then like 10 minutes after, I see all the reaction people have. That was shocking. Like I just really like it was shocking and life changing, and I was just so happy, even though I didn't qualify. Like I was the happiest person that night, and because I was getting interviewed by 8 journalists who were like trying to give the critics prize, and even when, because that's when they announced the finalists and my name was not in it, the 7 journalists out of 8, they all took the microphone, and each and every one of them said, this is crazy why Mirud was not qualified. Like I feel horrible that he didn't qualify. He should have qualified. He should have qualified. Like there were 7 journalists out of those 8 that said that, and that was like the first moment where like I started kind of like in a way switching that negativity of not being qualified to like a very positive thing, because like obviously it's very important to have the support of the journalists, and like they know what's the deal. So I Yeah, I mean, just the reaction really changed my life. I mean, um, yeah, I still cannot believe I did all that, but like the reaction still feels pretty crazy because like I still get messages every day now, even though it's January 5th, and people still listen to the song and people still talk about the song, and um, people are doing covers and stuff.
I feel like this song is going in the next year's Spotify Wrapped. It's going to be like probably my top 10 listened to. I'm not
I
going to
hope
lie.
so. I mean, I hope so because I do feel like the song needs more, and I do feel like the song um I just feel like it's not the end for none. I
Hmm.
feel like the song will continue to grow and people will continue to listen to it because it's authentic. It's like it's me, it's my soul, you know, like, and I said this the moment I wrote this song, after I dropped the pen on the table after I wrote it. I said to myself, this is going to be my favorite song I've ever wrote. And I do think it will be like that because I was able to kind of let myself free with this song that I did for the festival because I normally do not sing high notes like that on
Hmm.
the regular songs that I do, like pop dance and all that. Like I don't do high notes like that, and like I don't hold them for that long. So I kind of let myself free and break free with this song in many ways, like sing very low notes and then sing falsetto and then sing high notes. Like it's a lot of energy to sing that type of song, um, but it was my soul. So like I was able to especially like even when I watched the second night's performance, like even that one, like it was not vocally perfect and that's okay, but like I could tell that I was real like because even like right before going on stage, like my whole body would be very frightened and I would be very scared. But then once I'd be on stage, like I'd lose myself on the song and like I forget about that I'm even on a stage. Like I just think that I honestly like just would be in another world. Like I wouldn't even be um in a way like I said, like it would just feel like I'm in a different place, in a different like I'm in a dream doing that. Like it would just like I would lose myself on the song. I would like both nights, especially the second night while I was performing,
Hmm.
all I was feeling was the entire pain I've ever felt in my whole life. Like I was just experiencing all of that in that second because like I said, that song pretty much talks about my existence in this planet, like being myself and being me and all that. And so it was just like a very beautiful moment for me to see because like I said, I performed with orchestras before and stuff like that, but
Hmm.
like this has never happened to me where I go on stage and I sing nothing else but the song and like I actually get lost in the song. And this was my first moment that I've experienced that as an artist, and it honestly moved me. Like it moved me and it changed my life as an artist.
Hmm.
And I think it's gonna I'm just very excited for like future experiences that I'm gonna have on stage because this was just a very beautiful moment for me to see how I can actually connect to the song and what a big meaning it has for me. First of all, as an artist.
I mean, I mean, everything that you've just said just showed in your performance, and I am pretty sure that, like, obviously myself, and I'm pretty sure that people listening are excited to hear anything that you do in the future. But I remember after your performance, you made a post on Instagram, and you explained that things went wrong, that the camera angles weren't as you wanted them to be in the as they were in the rehearsals. So did you like ever get to the bottom of that? Did somebody just decide, right, we're gonna scrap what we've rehearsed and we're just gonna do something else?
I mean, I do not. I mean, because I never even wanted to write that to begin with, but I felt like I needed to give an explanation to the public because I also didn't want to be, excuse my language, like bitchy and like
Yeah.
be, like I don't want to complain too much and stuff like that and like put the whole blame on them because vocally, personally, I was not completely perfect the second night because I actually got sick the
Mhm.
night before. I got really sick after the show, and I couldn't even speak the next morning until like in the afternoon, but like that was first. But vocally, like that was the situation vocally, but also there was some issues with the stage because during the rehearsals when first of all we had different graphics
Yeah.
that we were supposed to use for the second night. So that's first. They used the same ones we used for the first night, which I don't like.
Okay.
uh, Second of all, that park chair that I was using, where I was trying to pretend like I'm homeless, um, it was supposed to be closer to the microphone so I could hear myself, to the speakers that were speaking to me, so I could hear myself.
Mm-hmm.
And on the rehearsals, we planned it and we put the chair very closer, and like I could hear myself perfectly and all that. Then the commercial is going on and my intro is coming on, and I'm walking on the stage and I see the guys bringing the chair, but the chair is too far. And I'm like, the chair is too far. Like, I'm not going to be able to hear myself. I'm telling the guy. And he's like, there's nothing I can do. So that's what happened. And then I sit on the chair. I absolutely cannot hear myself whatsoever, what I'm singing. And I cannot hear the speakers at all. So I'm just singing whatever I think is right and
Mm-hmm.
whatever I think, whatever. Like in that moment, I also shook because I'm like, okay, I cannot hear myself. I'm gonna like this performance is gonna be ruined, whatever. So, and during the rehearsals, when I was doing because I don't know if you guys realized, but I had petals on my gloves, flower petals, and then where you remove the gloves, the flower petals come out, and also I had flower petals on my heart,
Mm-hmm.
and then the heart, and I have flower petals. But unfortunately, the camera was not able to capture all that. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but during the rehearsals, I made sure to let them know that I need the camera to be, further to focus on the flowers and stuff because that was the whole point of the performance, and it just didn't happen. It didn't happen the way we discussed it. I know that with live shows, sometimes things can be hard and things can be difficult to manage, but um, I cannot take away the fact that I was very disappointed with the way that it was handled. Um, like I said, the festival is a great opportunity for new artists, but when things like that happen, it could also destroy an artist.
Yeah.
Uh, so I did not. I mean, it was not like I wasn't like happy about it because then I went backstage and I also spoke to the stage director's assistant and I said, okay, this is what happened. Like I couldn't hear myself and the chair was too far and stuff. And like she apologized and all that. Like it's like at the end of the day, what's an apology going to do? Like that was a live
Yeah.
performance on TV where like thousands and thousands of people saw it, and so that's what happened in the second night. But the first night, like everything was fine. The first night, I that's probably like I love that performance. I love both performances. Like even the second one, like I still adore that performance because um, like when I watch it, I can tell that I was lost into the song, and that's what makes me happy. Like, despite the fact that while I'm on stage, I'm thinking about all the stuff that are not happening, um, I was still able to lose myself on the song, and I think that's why I like the performance so much, and that's why people also liked even the second performance as well. Like, we also had flowers that needed to come down from the stage, from the ceiling, so like to be covered on flowers, and that didn't happen. Um, uh, yeah, and then like I'm performing and I'm taking the gloves off, and like we have screens on the other side where we see ourselves. So like
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing myself on the big screen, but I can see that the camera is not focusing on the flowers. And at that point, I'm like, okay, you just gotta sing and do you, and there's nothing you can do right now. So that's what happened. But I went backstage and like everybody was very um, a few like singers that I was competing with were like crying because of my performance and like they got very touched by it. Lydia Luffy, she came up to me and she was like, your song is so emotional. It gave me goosebumps." And like she started crying and it made me cry and then I started crying and like it was it was just a very beautiful moment to see the other artists support the song like that. But yeah, the situation with staging the second night, I don't know what was going on, but um, that's what happened. I mean, like I said, it's live show, and sometimes things don't go the best way on live shows. We've seen that even with like bigger shows, like the Grammys,
Yeah.
when Adele's piano, like when the guitar, well, with the microphone fell on Adele's piano, and like it sounded very bad, and like we've had moments like that. Like with live shows, it's very hard to like um, to keep everything in track because it's just impossible. It's hard.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, at least nothing happened with music turning off or things cutting off or anything like that. Um, that once happened. I was watching some live competition. It was on Polish TV. It was from Poland. And halfway through this guy's performance, it just the half I think only the drums and the bass guitar were still playing, and the rest just like cut out for some reason. And yeah, I can imagine that. I could see that he was really, 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 really pissed.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I wasn't even thinking like about the people that were doing the stage and dealing with the stage at that second. Like in that second, I'm just thinking about like the public and like I was trying to do the best way. I mean, I was trying to do a great performance for the public, and like I was like, oh my god, like I put so much work into this, and like it's not, it's not even working like the way I thought. And like I'm thinking about the public, and then I'm like, oh my god, because like I cannot deny that I was also thinking about my image as an artist.
Yeah.
Like I don't want people thinking stuff that were not there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's why I also made the post, because I needed to clarify that, not to defend myself or anything, but I owe it to the public to like explain what happened, because a lot of people were shocked why the song was disqualified. Like a lot of people were freaking out why the song disqualified, and that's why I made the post to explain my side of the view, like, and how I feel about it, because I just I just felt like that was needed, and I felt like that was necessary for me to give to the public and say to the public,
Hmm.
because obviously they value the artist and they believe the artist. So it's very important for me to also make sure that the public is aware of things that happen too, because like I don't want, like I said, like I don't want the festival to get hate. I don't want nobody to get hate, because the festival, it is what it is, but the festival, I mean, the festival is pretty popular, and like it gives artists a lot of exposure, and I think it's a great opportunity for like artists, but like I also like I said earlier, like it could also destroy an artist's career.
Mm.
And I think uh, during that performance, like everybody could tell that I was very hurt, and I mean, at some point I even teared up, like almost by the end of the song, because um, I was just very emotional in that second. Like I was very emotional about the song. I'm looking at the people in the audience. I cannot believe I'm singing the song in front of them. And then I also had fire, and it was just a very beautiful moment to do the second performance, just because I wanted. But I'm happy that the people, for example, in the audience, those people saw it. Like those people saw what I was doing. Those people saw what I was trying to do. And like at the end of the video, when people were applauding, like literally like people were like screaming and like whistling, and like I continued like being on stage for like at least 2 minutes, like well until I went. But like it was it was just very interesting, because like I said, I've performed with on live shows before, but um this was just a very interesting experience, because I worked a lot for the performance, and we did do all the things that I worked for during the rehearsals, but then we didn't do them on the actual show. So very that was interesting to see, and I still don't understand that part. Like I still don't understand how come we did everything perfectly on the rehearsals, and then all of a sudden on the live show, the night of the show, like we literally had the rehearsals for the second night, the that day, that same exact day when the show is, we had them in the morning. So I did the rehearsals, we did everything. He was like, everything is perfect, everything's fine, everything looked great. And then the live show is later at night and completely different, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, I mean, like I said before, we're all impressed, and like in our opinion, well, when I say I mean me and my friends, you were like the best of that night. And I'm
Thank
not just
you.
saying, I'm not just being biased. Probably
Well,
am.
thank you. That really means a lot, because, like I said, I value the opinion you guys gave about the performance and stuff. And obviously, there's going to be some people who like it, some people who don't, and that's completely fine. And I'm like, I'm completely fine with that. But I mean, it, I just didn't want to feel like I was letting people down with the second performance, because I there's no denial that I did feel that. I felt like I let the audience down, I let people down, but like I said, after I left the arena, the venue that day, and I'm walking outside, walking into the taxi, and I'm like, no, like I did not let anybody down, because I could tell the support that people were giving out, and how um, outrageous people were because the song didn't qualify. Like I was just like, okay, like people actually get it. Like people get it that uh, people just get the song, people get the performance, people got it, like people understood it, and that was the part that made me feel alive again. Because if I didn't have all that support and the song was disqualified and like all these things happen, I think I'd be probably like depressed by now and like broken down. But uh, just like the support that people gave out, that really just changes anybody's life, I think, not just mine.
Oh yeah, well, this just proves that social media can actually be a good thing.
Oh, it can for this kind of situations, yeah, for sure. Like even like for sure, like even the guys at video blogs, like they were so supportive of the
Oh,
song,
I love
and
them.
me too. And they also wrote stuff like about it, and like during the finale, they were writing stuff that my song was not in it and stuff, and that was just really, really heartwarming because I've been a fan of them for a long time,
Hmm.
and um, just to see them, you know, support the song like that and be so open-minded to the song, and because it's not a typical song you hear, it's very different, it's very dramatic, it's very, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
not a typical song you hear on the radio or like a song you would hear, I don't know, like when you go in a bar or like a club or something. Like it's a very personal song. It's a song you would put your headphones on to listen to. Like you wouldn't go and play it on your car or like stuff like that because it's not that type of song.
Well, I
Well, some
would.
people do, but still
No,
appreciate it.
I know what you mean. So as well, speaking of social media, so I took to social media to ask your fans to send in some questions.
Oh,
Um,
yay!
so are you ready?
Yes, I'm excited.
All right. So we've got a question from Kazama Fraz, and I am sorry to everybody if I mispronounce your Twitter handles. Um, and he asked, well, what was your reaction to not qualifying, which we already covered. But the other question is, what do you think of Yonida's song and victory?
I love Yonida. Like I said, since day one, I was actually very intimidated to meet her because, like I said, I've known of her for a long time, and I know what she can do and who she is and what she's done for the music industry and all that. Like I know that, and it was very intimidating to meet her at first, but we actually became very good friends, and she supported me throughout the journey. Like she would always give me suggestions about like how to take care of my voice, how to stay in shape with my voice and not get cold and sick right before the shows and stuff. And like she she always would give me suggestions on stage, and like she was just very she was a very kind, open person. And I think that definitely like was when I heard the song that she won with.
Mm.
Theotokos. First of all, I'm obsessed with that song. It's beautiful. And the second I heard it, I knew that she was going to be either win it or be at the top. Like I knew that.
Okay, so well, speaking that, yeah, you like the song. We've got another question from Viv Lane, and she
Mhm.
wants to know what was your favorite song in a competition, and you can't say your own.
Okay, so I'm gonna say a couple because there were a few that I liked. I liked Unidas, of course, Theotokos. I liked Sonny Malai's song My Fort, and she's
Mm.
a sweetheart as well. She's just the best. Orgesa Zaimi here, beautiful. She's amazing, and I love her. Um, I liked Leila, the
That was
song by
my act. That was actually my second place.
Orgesa.
No, Layla.
Oh, Leila, yeah, it's a beautiful song, and the guys are just so kind. Um, Leila is a really good song. That was, you know, I had a well, yeah, I had like a few favorites. Elisa Hoja's song was very beautiful, especially the lyrics of that song. Um, Claudiana had a great song. Lorella had a great song. Aurel Selimi had a beautiful song, which he didn't qualify either, but it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ballad. So yeah, these are my favorites from Fic. I would say Eranda had a great song as well. Eranda Libohova, um, Lydia Luffy, beautiful voice. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm bringing pretty much the whole list, but like Lydia Luffy, like all these artists really like impressed me. Like even with like to see how much they put work into their live performances, and it's. I mean, I just valued everybody that was there because it's not. It's a lot of work, and but these names that I mentioned definitely inspired me and left a mark on me.
So, what would you say like is your favorite thick winning song of all time?
Oh, of course, Ronan Sus.
Yes.
Yeah, I met her right after the festival ended.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
I've known her for like a few years now, but I met her right after the festival, and I was like, hey, do you want to get coffee? And she's like, sure. So we met up for coffee, and we spoke about the song and stuff, and she was just very kind about the song and the material that I presented, and she was, I mean, she's just the best. I love her and the voice she has. Oh my God, that voice is insane. She has a beautiful voice, and I'm definitely, ever since I would say she came out with Suits, she's been like an inspiration to me as far as like when like I create ballads and I kind of create melody lines vocally and stuff like that. Like she's definitely, I'm definitely inspired by her. And you can see that a little bit in None too, with like the way that I sing the high notes in the choruses. Like I'm very like inspired by singers who have very powerful voices like that. And then after her, of course, Elida Dani.
Mm.
She's the queen. We all know that, but she's the best, and I love Elida. And and then so I'm just gonna pick top three then, since I chose two. And then of course Eugen Bushpepa.
Yes.
That song is beautiful, and he's a sweetheart, and he actually messaged me after the festival. Um, and he was just telling me to like never give up and continue doing it um, because he believes in what I do, and I really appreciated that because like he didn't need to do that, and like I'd never spoken to him before, so
His vocals were crazy. But like I don't think I've ever been more mad at Eurovision when than Albania not winning in 2012. I don't think I've ever been more more angry whilst watching Eurovision results than in 2012.
I mean, Loreen, to be honest, Loreen deserved to win because it's a great song. Like, and I love Loreen. Like, I'm obsessed with Loreen. Uh, but Rona, like, I was literally like hitting my couch because I'm like, I need her to be like at least number two, like at least to go number two.
I
But
mean,
I mean,
she still has Albania's highest placing today, I think.
yeah, she still does, and
Yeah.
it's crazy because I mean, and she deserves it. Like
Oh yeah.
that song is so epic, and it's a song that no one could ever recreate,
Oh,
and it's a
definitely.
song that's made perfectly for her. Anybody else can try to sing that song and they will not do as good job as she does, not because vocally they're not good, but because that song is made for her. Like she wrote that song, that's her, like that, like she poured that the words out of her heart, like because even the words are very dark, and like it talks about um this person who's just like so sad of the world and like what's happening in the world and stuff like that, and like she talks about her place in the world, and like it's very it's just a magnificent song that could like never be recreated by anyone else. Like I think she's brilliant. Like the way she writes, I mean, she just does it so brilliantly. Like I think she's amazing.
I remember I did a last year, I think in the summer, I did a flute cover of a bit of the song, and I remember she liked the video and commented on it, and I was in my bedroom having like a full on heart attack, just
Aww.
like sitting there like hitting my wall like oh my god. So yeah, that was fun.
I mean, I feel that that's crazy because like I met Rona Nishliu when she was working on the music video for Sus.
Mm.
Um, she was doing the music video, and I met her. We went out for coffee with her and her director of the music video. And well, unfortunately, that director he passed away from cancer a few weeks ago. But um, she, I mean, she was just so humble even at that time. Like when she was about to do Eurovision and stuff like that, and she was about to go on stage, like she was just so humble and so kind, and she always is like that.
It does seem like that, like watching, like following her on Instagram and like seeing all her posts and like watching interviews, she does seem like that. But we've got another question from Salotzin underscore 249 who wants to know whether you will consider doing fic again in the future.
I mean, it's too early for me to say that now because I have some other plans that I'm working on right now. but I'm not going to say no and take that entire possibility out of this, but because you never know what will
Mm.
happen. But for right now, like I'm not thinking about that because I just did it, and it's still pretty fresh to me, and it was a lot of work. It was a lot of energy. It was a lot of energy to like sing the song, and it was just a lot to be doing all that every day. So like, because I was literally singing none and all those high notes and rehearsals from like December 1st all the way up to the shows, like
Yeah.
every single day on the rehearsals. And so, like I said, it's just a lot of energy. It's a lot of work. I'm very proud of what None achieved and what I did with None, and I would love to continue doing materials like that for you guys. And I'm not gonna say no right now, but I also don't know if or when I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
still up in the air.
We've got a very important question and from Yalbanius. And that is a question that everybody's been talking about for ages. Would you like to see Kosovo debut in Eurovision?
Yes, yes, of course. After the festival, like I spoke to a couple of my friends, and I'm going to try to do some work with the UN here and see if we can collaborate together and create some festivals in Kosovo as well, and like start having opportunities like that, so that at least in like the near future we can be part of Eurovision and bigger things like this because because I'm originally from Kosovo,
Yeah,
so like the artists from Kosovo, a lot of us escape and go to Albania's festivals because we don't have festivals in our own country. Like we don't have enough festivals, we don't have enough opportunities like that in Kosovo where we like can send songs out and you know what I mean? So
yeah.
like it's so like a lot of us just escape and go to Albania and do a lot of things like that. But I would love to like work, and I'm actually doing work now. But like I would love soon to organize some festivals in Kosovo and like um, have a professional jury and have televoting and let people vote too, and like um,
Yeah.
just have more opportunities for us in Kosovo because from being in FIC, I learned a lot. About music and myself and other artists and the music industry. And I do believe that we deserve more opportunities in Kosovo.
Because I mean, I think the EBU was supposed to meet with a broadcaster from Kosovo to discuss the their EBU license, but and it was supposed to have happened in December, but so
I
far
heard that's
it's
not
been
happening.
quiet.
So I
Sorry?
don't know. I heard somewhere that somebody said that Kosovo will never join Eurovision because uh, some money issues or whatever. But I'm like, we will because I also like I also spoke to Rona about
Yeah.
that. I said to Rona and Ishliu, like we all as artists like we need to fight and like we need to be involved in this and like create opportunities for excuse me create opportunities for
Mm.
like Kosovo and like artists from Kosovo like because I told her I said a lot of us escaped from there to come here and do this and I said despite the fact that the festival is great and like both like Kangamajika and this festival are both great and like they have great reputations and they're so professional and they're great festivals and like it's great exposure for new artists and it's just a beautiful experience but we also need like opportunities in Kosovo as well so we can do the same things we're doing over here, because like a lot of people, in Kosovo, they have dreams like that, but they have to go to Albania and do it, and like because their own country doesn't have it. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
I mean, if Monaco was able to have been in Eurovision, then I really don't see how Kosovo can't. Um.
I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of politics are involved,
Oh.
so I just don't know when or if Kosovo will join, but I hope it will soon, and I'm gonna fight as much as I can to get this done and like help at least to get this done because I do think it will change first of all, it will change Kosovo's economy to begin with
Yeah.
because a lot of people, Kosovo will get a lot of exposure in Eurovision, and like a lot of people will be interested to go see it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, when people say leave politics out of Eurovision, politics have no place in Eurovision. Yes, they do.
That's not, they do.
It's all
Even in
politics.
the voting in Eurovision, you can tell
Oh
that there's
yeah.
politics involved. So it's not like oh we're blind and we cannot see it. It's right there in front of our face. Like you can see countries that are right next to each other voting in Eurovision all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I understand when people say leave politics out of it in a sense with the whole drama, like, oh no, Israel shouldn't host Eurovision. Like, they won. Every other country gets to host if they win.
Exactly.
But saying that there is no politics at all in Eurovision is just one big lie, because
It is a
they
big
clearly
lie.
is. I mean, come on, block voting.
Exactly. I mean, it is a big lie. Like I said, like you see countries voting for each other all the time. Like
Yeah,
especially in the Balkans, it happens all the time. Or like I don't know, like or like Norway with Sweden and stuff like that. They'll
yeah.
always they vote each other. So which is like okay, like even in the voting in Eurovision, like when you watch the voting, you already know who's going to give points to who because you know it based on the past years how they vote.
Yeah. I've got a question with regarding to Eurovision from Jan Soblak, who wants to know how long have you been watching Eurovision and what has been your favorite entry of all time? And I'm going to
Uh,
challenge you to say you can't mention an Albanian entry.
oh, okay. um, I've been watching Eurovision since, but it's been on and off. So since like 2012,
Mm.
when Anishliu wasn't there, because like I said, that song is just so iconic, and I was impressed by that song. So I'm like, I'm gonna watch the whole show. So I did, but it's been like on and off after that. And then, but my favorite entry ever in Eurovision, it's definitely Euphoria by Loreen.
Yeah.
That song, I think it's so great, and I think she's great. Um, and I also think I like Loreen a lot in Euphoria because I know of her as an artist more outside of Eurovision and her work. So I know what she can do. But I, I mean, you can also tell by like the voting of the polls, and like that song is always number one from like 200 songs. So like
Yeah.
I think she definitely had a great song, and her stage presence and the way she performed it, I think was just so unique and different, and like she was just doing her.
Yeah, I mean, that song has won the ESC Radio 250 countdown. I think this is the sixth year in a row now
That's crazy,
that it's been number one.
and it won VB Block polls for
Yeah.
like 7 years in a row, number one, and like um, and I also found out that her song is like one of the top sellers ever.
Oh yeah.
She sold more than anybody else, I think, from the winners in Eurovision with like Euphoria, including ABBA. I think ABBA is second, and then she's first with like sales.
Yeah, I mean, besides ABBA, I feel like I don't think you can like really with the worldwide success that ABBA have had. I don't think you can really like compare it. But like besides ABBA, with the other contestants, I think Euphoria and I think Heroes are like the two songs from Sweden.
Yeah,
Are the only songs that I remember clearly hearing like on commercial radio stations in the UK that wasn't a UK Eurovision song.
right. I mean, Euphoria was pretty big in UK, even here, like even in America, it got pretty big. It got big all over Europe, everywhere. Like, and I think this song will continue to do really well, which is great for her because like she doesn't need to work. So, but
Oh, it's fine. I'll just cash in all the royalties.
exactly, she just cashed all the royalties. She'll be all right. Uh, but I want to ask you actually,
Oh
what's your
god.
favorite entry of all time?
All right, hold on. Just point to any Italian entry. No. I'm gonna say my favorite has to be Grande Amore Il Volo,
Love it.
and then second has to be Non mi avete fatto niente Ermal Meta and Fabrizio Moro. Um, I was actually I actually went to Italy twice this summer to see Ermal in concert, and just oh my god, just seeing him perform that song live, the first time I saw him live, I just stood there and just cried. I,
Oh my
I,
God.
I literally just stood there and I just cried, and then like he came over to our side and I was like, oh my god.
Oh, that's so cute.
He's lovely. I was also lucky enough to meet him after his concert when I went in, again in September, and he's honestly like the funniest person ever.
No,
Um,
he's very kind because he was backstage, so we got a chance to like kind of introduce ourselves to him. But he's very kind.
oh, he is. Like, he was. Remember, he was telling. It was as a group of us. He was telling us a story about when he performed at Sanremo, Giovanni with a band, and that like he was telling a story how an old lady fell asleep, and her head was resting on her husband's shoulder. And to demonstrate this, because nobody can imagine what that looks like, he came over to me and put his head on my shoulder, So now I'm just standing there like frozen, like, oh my god, guys, what's going on?
I know that feeling.
I,
Trust me, I
I,
know the
I
feeling.
was like,
That's why when I met Vita, I was just like shocked.
I did not expect that, but no, he's lovely, and now I'm going back at the end of the month to Italy to
Oh
see
my
him
God,
in
that's
concert
exciting.
again.
Aw, that's exciting. Well,
Uh,
I'm glad you like his music because, as you know, he comes from where I come from,
yeah.
so that makes me happy
Oh,
that people are listening to artists like Armani because I think it's great.
yeah, his music it's on another level. Like it's like I for the past few years I've been kind of a bit like on like when it came to music I was a bit on and off. It's like music that you hear on the mainstream radio, like I don't really like it because it's all the same shit and everything.
No,
Um, not all of it, but like in the UK, it's a lot of Drake, it's a lot of Cardi B, it's a lot of Nicki Minaj, and I'm just like I don't really like that music. To me, doesn't make me feel anything. Um,
but
but his music is like just something you hear on commercial radio stations like all the time, and but it's just so much more, and it just goes to show what an amazing artist he is.
yeah,
Um,
he is. He's great, and like also, I'm just gonna like just having Armand to perform on stage at FIC, and then having Genk sing too. That was just like a great moment because those two guys are amazing, and like you watch them like perform live, it's really crazy. Like those guys are talented.
oh yeah, yeah. It's I was hoping Elgin would come over for the London Eurovision pre-party last year, but unfortunately, due to I think there were issues with passports or something, he wasn't able to make it, which
I know.
which was a shame because like the entire day were like me and my friends were waiting outside the venue, we were like trying to meet all the acts, and we're like, all right, where's Elgin? Has like anybody seen him? And I remember we asked someone, one of the like somebody who was doing interviews inside, and they just looked at us and they were like, who's that? So there's my
Oh my
friend with like
God.
this little Albanian flag, right, ready to meet him, and we were just there like, are you kidding me? You're here
Yeah,
interviewing Eurovision contestants.
and you don't know who it is.
I you don't know who he is. I was like, okay. But then the organisers told us that there was issues with passports, that they were stuck in Poland. Apologies.
Mm.
And he wasn't able to make it, which was a shame. And then I couldn't go to Eurovision. Uh, one day soon, I'll be able to go. And
And maybe you'll get to meet him too. So.
going back to the fan questions, this one is not so much as a question, but
Mhm.
Mirud.fan on Instagram have asked me to tell you that they love you very much.
Aw, thank you so much. I love you guys. You guys are the best. What
uh,
can I say?
so, what can your fans expect from you in this year, in the near future?
So I am doing, like I said, a few different things this year. I'm gonna drop a single with a big label here, which I'm very excited about. Um, we are working on that. I'm meeting them this week, and we are pretty much talking about the last details. I have a couple of projects and music videos that I'm releasing throughout the year. Also, by the end of this year, I am considering a few festivals to to go. I mean, to try. Uh, so that those are my ideas for now, but I just don't want to say the names of festivals yet because
Of
you know how it
course.
goes with elections and everything.
Exactly, yep.
So we'll see. But I'm considering a few festivals that I've been um, pretty much viewing for a long time. It's not fake if people are wondering. No, it's festivals I'm thinking about. But yeah, so I have a lot of things that I'm working on, a lot of producers that I'm working on right now, a lot of new people that I've met as far as like producers and songwriters that we're working with. And I'm very excited for the songs, and I'm trying to create some good materials for. I'm trying to bring some good materials for the for festivals because I like the festivals. I like festivals a lot. I think it's a great opportunity, great experience, and I definitely am interested in doing more festivals. But
When you say festivals, do you mean like 3 day music performances or like actual competitions?
no actual competition.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
but that's what I want to do. And I have 3 projects that I'm releasing with music videos this year. Um, so the first one is going to come out definitely in the next couple of weeks. Um, in the next couple of weeks or month, I'm going to release the first one, and then um, with the other ones, we don't know yet because we haven't obviously planned the timing of that. But we were trying to finish the first project first, and then we'll take it from there. But definitely by the end of the year, I'm doing more festivals, um, competitions, and I'm going to continue doing that for the next 2 years because, uh, like I said, like I was trained classically, and I like the stage, and I just want to do more performances like that, like serious festivals.
oh, that sounds exciting and promising.
Yeah,
You guys heard it first here.
yeah, exactly.
All
You
right.
guys heard it.
Well, thank you so much for your time and for agreeing to be part of the podcast.
Oh no, please. I am very grateful you invited me, and like I said, I'm a huge fan of like podcasts in general, but like this is my first one that I've done. So I'm really happy you invited me,
Oh my,
and I
uh,
think you're just a genius, and I really appreciate your work, and I appreciate you being so kind
thank
and
you.
liking, like saying so many good things about the song and me as an artist, and that's something that truly keeps me alive. So thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any final messages to your fans who are listening?
Yes, of course. I just want to say that I'm really grateful for each and every one of you because, like I mentioned earlier, the way that things went this year, I mean, last year on the festival, I really thought, I mean, I was really scared that I'm going to be very depressed, but you guys really made me feel like I'm alive, and there was no point that I felt depressed or sad or anything like that. You guys really made me feel like a winner, and I just owe so much to each and every one of you. And I've said it before, I'm never going to stop saying it, that I bow down to each and every one of you for the time you all took to read, to listen, to watch, to do all the things you guys do for me, and like all the comments, all the beautiful messages, everything, all the time you guys took, every second of your day. I'm truly grateful for each and every one of them. And like I said, I bow down to you guys, and I love you guys so much.